We're currently in the midst of the 15th anniversary for Guild Wars 1, in which the devs introduced 10 new elite skills and a bunch of new weapons. Now, I've already done 2 videos discussing that topic, the most recent of which was very long and went into a good amount of detail. Oh, you may have noticed that at the 10th anniversary, the devs added some interesting stuff as well. Same vendor, same festival idea, but I never really covered it. And that kind of irritates me. You might have noticed there's a bit of a running theme on the channel the past, 2 years? I've been trying to fill in all the holes of the things that I missed covering initially. Why I didn't talk about this 5 years ago, I really couldn't tell you. I guess Guild Wars 2 was pretty busy, and I completely undervalued what this update was. So today, even though it's 5 years later, I did want to talk about some of the other stuff you can do when this festival rolls around each year, because I'm actually fascinated by it. And it's weird looking at, especially having played so much Guild Wars 2, because it's kind of like, and maybe I'm overblowing it a bit, it's kind of like they added legendaries to Guild Wars 1, which is not really a concept that existed. So there's a selection of weapons. This year, we obviously got these gold ones, the rare ones, which had the strange combinations of actual weapon with attributes, and as I currently speak into the microphone, have kind of a weird mechanic that undermines them. It's sort of breaking their whole idea, which is a bit of a shame. There's the item that gets you the new elite skills, there's Blessings of War you can collect, sure. And then there's all these green weapons. So these all have, with the exception of one of them I'll talk about in a moment, something weird and special visually about them. As far as the mechanics are concerned, let's do consider they're green, so they're not moddable. This year's weapons, the gold ones, obviously are, but for these, you get what you get. The upside is that they do have a special mod on them that you can't get anywhere else in the whole game, and it's this one here to take the daggers, for example. Every single one has, martial weapon has this. It's deal 20% more damage during a festival. So that is pretty much replacing your 15% more damage while over 50% health or equivalent mod. It's stronger in that it's more potent, and also it's just permanently there. So it's really nice. The devs actually put a post out on the wiki 5 years ago explaining they did have a concept for a shield for this set as well. But if they did that, you'd be able to stack both 20% for a whopping 40% increased damage, which is a massive modifier, even by both game standards, really, which they didn't want. So there is no shield in this set. If you want a shield, you probably have to go to the 15 year. But yeah, 20% additional damage during festivals. That does, of course, mean, though, they're a bit weaker when festivals aren't going on. Hey, that's still a bit of a shame. What I will note is Guild Wars 1 has a ton of festivals. You know, it's got the festival for St. Patrick's Day. It's got Talk Like a Pirate Day. It's got this festival. It's got the big staple ones that you'd expect, like Halloween and Winter's Day and the Cantha New Year. It's got not only this festival celebrating Guild Wars 1's birthday, it has the Wayfarer's Reverie, which is another festival which celebrates Guild Wars 2's birthday. So a good portion of the year is canvassed. And if you're the kind of person who only logs in sporadically, and maybe when special things are happening in Guild Wars 1, you know, these might not be that bad. And especially for, like, alts and stuff, if you're filling up heroes, they might not be that bad. They'll make your heroes look very, very flashy. Even beyond that, you can collect some of these for utility purposes, and they'll still be really strong. And that's actually a part of what I'm going to do here today. So, I'm going to buy a lot of these, and I'm going to show you what a lot of them look like. I've collected 50 Proofs of Legend. Don't ask me why I got so many of these. It's the build craft from the new elite skills. Oh man, that new Ranger elite is like so much stronger than I realized. Plus 9 regeneration for the whole team as it's currently implemented. It's like Troll Unguent AoE that lasts longer and is stronger. Nuts. But in any case, so let's roll on through. And I'll tell you what's really special about them, because really the visuals are the big thing. First, let's collect the Rival Skies. Now, this one's an axe. By the way, when you buy these, they will be instantly customized to the character that purchased them. So be very, very cautious about that. So, what's special here is this looks like a Fiery Blade Axe, right? Which is definitely one of the way flashiest skins that's ever existed in Guild Wars 1. Well, what happens here is this goes above and beyond. Let's look at my Jorah here. Jorah, I've got wielding a Destroyer Axe from Eye of the North. From Eye of the North. with some kind of random mods, because I don't really use her very much. And, of course, her offhand is the Forgotten Shield from the end of Nightfall. Looks pretty cool, right? But if I unequip her axe and give her the new one... Oh, it doesn't appear on the preview. That's interesting. We'll have to go out into a map. This dual-wields axes, guys. The only idea of dual-wielding in Guild Wars 1 is, like, something and a shield, or daggers, where you have one in each hand. You can't take, like, a main hand weapon and put it in the off. That is not a meaningful thing in the game. It doesn't exist. But with this one weapon, you basically will be dual-wielding axes. You will have the fiery one in your main hand and the icy one in your offhand. Absolutely crazy. And I'll show you what that looks like. In fact, hold on. Let's see. Is that just because of the hero UI? That would be quite interesting if it was. No. We actually have to go out into a map, I guess. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second, because we're going to load out into the explorable. So, dual-wield axes, that's like a huge bump up over any standard weapons. You get what I mean when I say, like, it feels kind of like a legendary almost style thing? And we'll do something with this axe. I don't know. We'll find out what we can do with it. Next, there's also this bow. They call it the Falling Star. So, this one is, I believe, a flat bow. It doesn't actually have it written in there anywhere. No, it does. It says two-handed flat bow. So, this is not bad for pulling aggro. I currently, on my weapon sets down here on the bottom right, you'll see, I don't really have them set up that well. I have like a 2020 set for domination builds. I have a 2020 set for illusion builds. And I have a staff with enchanting on it. It's not even like an extra energy staff. So, but what I could do is I could put a bow in one of these, so that as I'm running around playing the game, I can swap onto that weapon set, pull a group, you know, LOS them around a corner very briefly, so they're balled up a little bit more, so that, you know, my Fevered Dreams build, or my Energy Surge, or my whatever is going to do more damage. So, just being able to pull is a good idea. Most halfway decent Guild Wars 1 players really should have a bow in one of their sets. Flat bow's good as any, and this one has a very special effect, just like the axes. So let's pick this one up. And I could, of course, buy multiple and put them on my heroes as well. This one has special particle trail effects for the projectiles. Again, just like legendaries in Guild Wars 2, where certain, you know, weapons will change the way that your pistol bullets look, or, again, your short bow, longbow stuff. That's exactly what's happening here. This one will create, like, sparkly effects, and we'll go demo those in a second. Next, there's the daggers. I don't really have much use for them on my main, but I will put them on an assassin hero. Let's go with Anton, I guess. Anton's probably my favorite assassin hero, who doesn't even have one equipped right now, which is very good. So, these are fiery gladiuses. I mean, look at that. I will probably buy these again for my actual assassin on my account as a main thing. These are ludicrously flashy. Very big dagger. You know, usually daggers were very small in Guild Wars 1. There were a couple of sets that looked big. And, well, these ones are also on fire because they're fiery gladiuses and you're actually dual wielding. So, absolutely nuts and pretty cool. So next we have the hammer. This is called the Roaring Earth. Once again, I can put it on a hero because I don't have much use for myself. Again, I've got this Destroy 'em all. I guess I can salvage off the Strength of Honor at some point. Now, what this is pretty special for is it has a big trail as it gets swung. Like it's a big red, glowing, long line. Again, we'll demo it. Pretty nice. Okay, so then there's a couple that I'm not going to buy. 3, in fact. They are all caster weapons. So there is a Mesmer caster weapon. There is a Necromancer caster weapon. And there is an Ellie one. And these do not have special particle effects or trails or projectiles or anything like that. They could have done the projectile thing. Instead, what they are is they look like swords. All 3 of them. So, the Elementalist, you get the Elemental Sword. Anyone who plays Guild Wars 1 will remember just how iconic and cool that is. Well, you can get an Elemental Sword on your Ellie now, where you actually equip it in the main hand with a wand. The reason I'm not doing this is because if I'm going to use a wand, I'd rather use these ones down here that I've crafted that actually give me the, you know, the half casting time chance 20% and the half skill recharge chance 20%. This, instead, has only 20% to half casting time of all spells, but only during festivals. So these are not bad. I think the Mesmer gets the Jade Sword, and the Necromancer gets the Dead Sword. In any case, they're all kind of cool looking skins for your casters. I'm not going to go through. I don't even know if I have enough privilege to get them all. I didn't really plan to. The Scythe, very similar situation to a hammer. So let's equip this. This one's pretty decent. It's actually got 20% enchant mod on it, which I'm quite happy with. Oh, Melania, I already added her in preparation for the video. Fantastic. So she has a random gazing scythe. She can definitely do with a better one. So we'll see how her swings look in a second. Armor pen plus 20%. Enchantments last 20% longer. And the festival damage mod. That's you know, really good all-rounder right there. Now, next, one that my main will actually use. This one's the spear. This one also has a really fancy trail, and the thing is, I can actually set up a weapon set with this. So let's go to, like, our weapon set for our domination stuff right now, which I'm not actually using. So we can unequip this, put the spear on, and then equip a shield with it, and we'll have a spear shield set that we can swap to when we're taking extra damage or extra pressure, and we'll be okay. And the spear just kind of helps us to, you know, have a little bit of auto attack opportunity if we like. We don't really need to build adrenaline or anything like that. Really, the best way to do this spear would be to have, like, armor on it. Instead, it's got health, but that's fine. So basically, I can swap onto this spear, get a little bit healthier, complement it with the shield, and get, you know, even more healthy, and I'll be all good. And in fact, just to break out of year 10 for a second and go to year 15, year 15 added the fast cast shield, which is really good. So I get the full armor 16. That's another, what is that? Is that like 11% more damage reduction? Do I remember that correctly? So on top of the original 8, so I get, you know, 8 additional. I can inscribe this and so on. I actually think that this is bugged and you can't put like a shield handle on it or something. I think the wiki is saying that, but hopefully the devs patched that. I don't know what expectations we can have that they will do some nice patches. But yeah, now we have a 10-year spear with a special effect visually. And we have the 15-year shield that we can swap to if we start taking a little bit of damage. Coming down to the last ones now. We have 2 staffs. So we had 3 caster weapons for Ellie Mesmer Necro. Well, we get a staff for Monk and we get a staff for Rit. I'm not actually going to buy either of these. So the Ritualist one doesn't really have a unique skin or anything, but when you auto-attack with it, the auto-attack projectiles look like spirit projectiles. So that is pretty nice, and if you are a Rit that really loves spirits, and you probably are, this is a nice complementary weapon that gives you that super unique, cool spirit auto-attack that you can contribute to all the other orbs flying out from your stack of spirits. So this I can buy. This one, I can't find anywhere on the internet that tells me anything special about it. Apparently it doesn't have interesting projectiles. The skin is a ghostly staff, which guess what? From all my time farming Doa back in the day, I have loads of ghostly stuff. Oh, well, this is actually a Droknar stuff. But still, nonetheless, this is not cool enough of a skin to justify it for me. I already have 20% enchantment. I mean, it's just really not worth it. So this skin, unfortunately, if you're a monk, you kind of got screwed on year 10 because I don't think they did a really great weapon for you. And it's a shame because you kind of got screwed on year 15 because your elite wasn't that interesting. And I mean, you got a Divine Favor Hammer. So, yeah, maybe someone in the comments can fill me in on this. And I'd actually love that because I really did do a good amount of Googling just trying to find if this was worth buying. And no one really had anything to say. There was one poor guy on Reddit like 2 years ago asking the same question. Does this have anything special about it? And he got like no responses really. Finally, there's the sword. Similar effect to the other ones. While the hammer has like a red trail, the sword's going to have a blue one. It also has the appearance of a crystalline sword. Or is it a crystalline sword? Yeah, it is. It's just dyed, I guess. I think that's a dyed crystalline sword. You know, there's not many places to get crystalline swords. There's obviously the weird one in pre-searing. But yeah, so lots of very special skins with very special effects. Now let's go look at them. I guess we can do it at the Great Temple of Balthazar. Go out into the Isle of Nameless. And I'll try to, you know, hold the heroes back as and when is possible. We'll just send them in one at a time. We'll put them to attack or something and then roll on through. And we'll have a bit of a demonstration for how these look. I'm really sorry that I didn't cover this for 5 years, guys. But there you have it. So, hold on. And then this guy is on attack as well. So, let's run on over to some target dummies, I guess. I'll flag everyone back first of all. Let's have a look at our new spear shield set. So, this is our Chronomancer shield. And this is year, the decade spear. And as I throw the spear, you'll see you get this cool trail coming out of the spearhead. which is pretty noticeable and kind of blue colored. So yeah, we get that basically. And then for the bow that we had as well, when we fire the bow, ooh, there we go. Okay, one of the projectiles seemed to bug out. Instead of just regular arrows, we get like these sparkly golden trails coming out of it that you would not ordinarily see on a projectile coming out. So yeah, we kind of got our special set for pulling. We got our special set for defending ourselves. And that's it on me. Let's throw Milani in there now so that you guys can see the scythe. And what she looks like as she swings. If I auto-attack, she should go for it. Oh, I guess if I stop auto-attacking, she immediately stops. So there you go. So we get a black trail here on the scythe. This was the one color I wasn't too sure about. Oh, and unfortunately, she just went into her Avatar of Balthazar form, which, funnily enough, will actually take the effect away. If you enter any form, it will take the effect away. Obviously, barely no one in combat ever enters forms. Milani does. So that's a bit of a shame for any dervish hero. If you've got to set up his Avatar of Balthazar or something, that's a bit of a shame. Let's move the next one over. We have Jorah. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, this is beautiful. There you go. I really do think the axes are the coolest one. She's dual-wielding axes. Like, how nuts is that? This is, like, such a special, weird thing. There's a load of strange notes about how exactly this operates. It will hide any offhand you have. So if you have a shield, the shield becomes hidden. If you have a focus, the focus becomes hidden. And I think, like, if you yourself are wielding them, you go into first person, it can look a little bit weird. But there you have it. So that's Jorah. And she'll just go and she'll swing. And you'll see that she doesn't necessarily swing the thing. But she does move it around enough that it kind of looks like it's doing things. So that's pretty nice. Milani is still in her avatar. That's unbelievable. All right, so let's send Jorah back now with her axe, and let's instead get whoever this is forwards. All right, so this is Anton. I mean, we don't really need Anton to be attacking. There's no trail or anything on this one. He's just standing there with dual-wield fiery gladiuses. I mean, having this on my actual main, I think, is going to be a really cool experience. Just as if I was maining warrior, getting the two axes on my warrior main would also be pretty nice. So anyway, yeah, we can just see he's running in, spamming through. And there's Milani swinging the scythe, and you can see the black trails coming out. Let's hit the armor 80 so that it doesn't die too quick. I mean, in general, they are dying very fast. Dagger heroes are not that bad anymore, by the way. You can put them on like the generic dagger spam attack chain. Man, if I could do a balance patch for Guild Wars 1, this would be one of the first things I'd nerf. But, because it's just so ridiculously powerful. And heroes are actually not too bad with it. Okay, so that just leaves us with Gowron and his hammer. So I'll just make sure everyone's flagged back. We'll bring Gowron forwards. And, oh, sorry, we've got Kos as well. Yeah, okay, so you got Kos, and we can see his trail. And we've got Gowron, and we can see his. So Kos kind of gets a blue one, a lot like our spear. And Gowron gets the red one. The red one actually looks a lot more subtle than I expected. You know, I opened this video describing these things as kind of like Guild Wars 1 legendaries. Because, you know, trail effects are Guild Wars 2 legendary things. Projectile effects are Guild Wars 2 legendary things. They're doing special stuff with it. But the trails are not as distinct as I expected. It's still pretty cool, though. So, I mean, there you have it. That's kind of what they did there. And if you're not interested, or once you've bought all of the weapons you want and you still want to participate in the festival, obviously it's got all the other stuff like the massive amounts of drops that are going on. And you can just buy the thingies of Balthazar going forward after that as well. I mean, I still have another 10 proofs. Probably 5 of those will get spent on my assassin. And then maybe another 5 on my warrior for the axe, maybe. But after that, I'd be going for the Balthazar things. So those are the weapons that I think are worthwhile. It's a shame about that monk staff. But there you have it. So that's year 10. And for the sake of completeness, I thought it might be cool to show off. So there you have it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. You're now up to date with Guild Wars 1. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy, guys.